You're listening to the Magnetic Boss Podcast. I'm your host, Calandra Martin, intuitive brand designer for spiritual entrepreneurs. The Magnetic Boss Podcast is where visionaries come together to openly share wisdom and authentic conversations. I know that you are ready to leave your legacy in the world and become sought out in your industry. I also know that you are sick and tired of getting overlooked. You're ready to have a magnetic business. I'm here to help you create your magnetic brand. It's my mission to help you show up confidently with a professional, irresistible online presence. If you're in this for the long game and all in on the big vision you have for your business, let's dive in. Welcome back to the Magnetic Boss Podcast. Today is going to be a raw episode because I have to fill you in on what is happening behind the scenes, the evolution that is happening in my business, and some of the bumpy roadblocks, frost heaves, whatever it is that you want to call them, that have been coming up along the way. So get cozy. I imagine you're listening to this episode as you are doing something else. Maybe you are taking a shower, you're doing your dishes, you're going for a walk, you're driving, wherever it is that you listen to podcasts. I hope that you are really enjoying your experience in whatever it is that you are doing right now. And the reason that I say that is because in the last couple of weeks, in the last couple of months really, I have noticed the importance of really sinking into the experience, even when, and especially when, it feels messy and it feels hard and it feels complicated as fuck. Because to be completely honest, that's how business has felt in the last few months. And with that being said, I am extremely grateful that that is where I am at in my business. Because what is happening right now behind the scenes is a new level. And you've probably heard the saying before, new level, new devil. It is really freaking true, especially in entrepreneurship. So what I have noticed as we have rolled into 2021, which I, first of all, cannot believe that it is June already at the time that I'm recording this episode. There's so much happening, and it's all happening really fast. So I started off the year with a full calendar and projects that were really lighting me up, clients that I freaking adore. I just have to give a shout out to my clients, my branding clients, my social media clients that have come to me for individual projects, custom projects, quiz designs, so many things. I've been working on really incredible things. And so in the beginning of the year, I had all of this momentum and excitement and gratitude, and all of those things are still there. But what is happening right now is that I have reached a plateau, if you will, in my ability to serve at the capacity that I desire to serve in. And really what that looks like is struggling with time management, struggling with all of the balls in the air, reaching burnout, finding myself in moments of resentment for the work that I do, despite the fact that I love it, because I am at that point in my business where I need to outsource more so that I can do less and still accomplish more. And this is probably something that you have either experienced in your business or you have heard about this before. And I just want to be so real and raw with you because I want you to know that this happens, and it happens for a good reason. It doesn't happen because you're an epic failure. And that's something that I had to tell myself so many times in the last couple of weeks, because I've been doing 1,000,001 things and juggling lots of different moving pieces in my business, in my personal life, preparing for a cross-country move in, dare I say, a couple of months. It's really crazy to think about. And there have been moments where I've felt frustration with my business because it's not where I want it to be. even though I'm putting in crazy hours, even though I am working the moment that my eyes pop open in the morning when I have my first cup of coffee. And so what I have known to be true is that a business cannot sustain itself without a solid foundation. And right now, my foundation is rumbling. It is not falling apart, right? There are still systems and processes that happen in my business, and they work. They work really freaking well, in fact. And that is why I have such a full plate, because I have repeat clients. I have clients coming to me as referrals. I have my social media marketing working for me, my organic growth strategy. All of those pieces are working, but I have reached a point where I need freaking help. Plain and simple, I need freaking help. And sometimes that's a really hard thing to admit or to recognize, because especially as women and as a mom, I know for me, I want to do it all, right? I want to be Superwoman. I want to show up every day and completely slay the day, like check all of the things off of my to-do list. But the trap here is that if you are hustling, if you are constantly saying yes to things, and you don't have the capacity to fill your cup back up, there will be a state of burnout. And that is where I have been dipping my toes into, right? I have been noticing the burnout creeping in. I have been noticing that with my projects, I feel overwhelmed. And all that simply means is that it's time to grow my team, which is scary and exciting and unbelievable, because less than 3 years ago, I didn't think that I was ever going to get to this place, and I was struggling to get clients. I was struggling to fill my calendar. And it's really a leap of faith, which is why I wanted to share this on the podcast and be completely honest with you, because we see the highlights on social media. We see entrepreneurs killing it, right? They're doing all the things right. Their marketing is working and they just have everything working for them. But the truth is that most of the time behind the scenes, there are pieces of business that need attention, that need that nurturing in order to grow. So I want to share with you some of the things that I am working through. And this is literally in real time. Before I started recording this episode, I was having a conversation with a potential team member. I want to share with you what this process looks like in the very, very beginning stages of going from solo entrepreneur, one-woman show, to bringing on a team and outsourcing things that I don't necessarily need to be doing and actually shouldn't be doing in my business if I plan on scaling my income, my impact, the way that I show up in the world, the way that my brand is influencing people. So let's get right into it. So before I go too far into the process, I do want to say that I have an incredible team member that I have been working with and that has been supporting me for almost 2 years now, which is really, really crazy to think about. So when I say I go from a one-woman show to a team, I really should say a two-woman show to a team, because she is literally my second brain. She helps me with systems, she helps me with organization, and she also allows me to share my vision so that I can speak things into existence. So without her by my side, none of this would be happening. I can say that for a fact with no doubt, no doubt there. So going from solo entrepreneur to having one team member who is really my OBM, she's my overall business manager, online business manager, whatever you want to call it. She's literally just a unicorn. And I reached out to her when I was starting to notice that I was overwhelmed and seeing that there was room for growth with my systems. So I knew that my contracts needed to make sense. I knew that my client experience needed to make more sense. And as I am recording this, I'm realizing you can probably hear my dog in the background. So if you do, that's part of my chaos in my world. Welcome. Get comfortable. And so I brought this team member on to really help me tidy things up on the back end and make my systems run more smoothly. She has helped me create systems for my social media marketing so that I don't have to be the one posting on social media. I can really be the person that's just writing the content and recording the podcast, and she's taking care of the rest. So she is, one, my business manager, and two, kind of a VA social media manager. And things have been going so well with us for the last, I cannot even believe I'm saying this, 2 years. We are coming right up on our friendiversary and our business anniversary. So that has been going really well. But in the last couple of months, as I said before, there has been more growth. There has been more exponential growth on the lead generation, on the clients that are needing support, on the people that are coming to me and inquiring how they can work with me. And in the beginning of the year, I took on a lot of projects, and I also had a lot of projects wrapping up from the previous year, and actually even the year before that, some projects that got set on the back burner and came back into my attention, right? So I was balancing at least 10 clients at once in various capacities with various types of projects. In addition to my team coach role for another business coach that I support and her community. In addition to being a mom, full-time 3 days a week and part-time 2 days a week when he's in daycare and preschool, being a dog mom, having friends, and also preparing to move across the country. So there's been a lot going on, and there's been a lot on my plate. So one of the indicators for me, as I mentioned, was this dipping my toes into feeling states of burnout. I was recognizing that I was getting resentful. I was recognizing that I was working longer hours than I desired to. I was recognizing that balls were dropping, or I was forgetting small details about projects. So all of these things led to this process of me jumping in and deciding there needs to be more team in the near future. So if you are in this place and you're looking for some steps, I said this before, but I really mean it this time, let's dive in. So the first thing that I did was recognize that there was a need for help. There was a need to outsource. And then once I came to terms with the fact that this was going to happen in my business at some point in the near future, I decided to go into full-on research mode, which is something that I personally love to do. It is my personality type. I love to research things. I love to know all of the details and really just get familiar with the territory that I am about to step into. So I listened to quite a few podcasts about hiring team as a business owner. I did some Google searching. I made a whole bunch of notes around this process and what that could look like, so that I could really have discernment around what this process is going to look like for me. Because, of course, with everything that we do, especially in our businesses, it's going to be unique to you and your process and what works best for you. So I did some brainstorming. I did some visioning around what I want that team to look like, how I want that team environment to feel for the people that are on my team. Because one thing that is really, really important to me, one of my core values, is that people really feel valued when they are in a position, and that they are highly compensated, and that they feel as though there is an equal energetic exchange happening. So that was something really, really important to me. So I looked at what my team values were, and the next step from that was brainstorming around what some of these roles might be, because if you're an entrepreneur, you get this, right? You wear a million different hats. You are your PR person. You are your content creator. You are your client care coordinator. You are your community manager. You are the project manager. You are the accountant in some instances. There's so many different things that as an entrepreneur land on your plate in the beginning. So I had to start looking at what are some of the roles that I want to be filled, and in addition, what are the individual tasks and day-to-day things or projects that I might want to assign to these roles? And this is something that I have leaned on my team member for, my OBM, because she's really helping me with creating a system around hiring, a system around building out this team. So we've created a Google Doc up until this point, right? I'm sharing this real-time process with you. It's messy. It's probably not perfect, but it's working so far. We created a document that outlines all of the roles, what the individual skill sets are, the personality types for some of these roles that we are looking for, and also an idea of what the financial aspect might look like for these subcontractors that will be coming on as part of the Magnetic Boss Studio. I can't believe I just said that out loud. So there will be some rebranding happening. There will be some excitement around launching this new brand, which is really an extension of my personal brand, where I'm creating more community around the vision, right? Community around the work that we're doing, because I don't just want to be working with clients as an expert designer. I really want to be sharing these brands with the world, because when you go through this process, you truly do become a magnetic boss, right? That's the name of the podcast, the Magnetic Boss Podcast. So the studio is going to be the umbrella for everything that we do. And as we fill out the roles and as we add new experts to the team, there will be quite a bit of expansion in the next couple of years. So I've been mapping out what that looks like. Okay, so now that I got that off my chest, oh my goodness, Magnetic Boss Studio. Stay tuned, more to come. So we created this document, we created the role descriptions, we looked at the financial aspect of where we want to start some of these positions at, and from there I was able to reverse engineer an application form. So I have been putting together a form that people will fill out based on the role that they are looking to fill, that they are interested in. And then the next step in that process will be an interview with me, because for me personally, energy is everything. And if I have a conversation with you and I feel that there's something off in our energies, whether that is something that was said or just something that was felt in a conversation, that will really help me determine who's going to be the best fit and for what position. So this really will be a very hands-on experience and a hands-on process for me. So it won't be a matter of me handing this off to my virtual assistant or my OBM and saying, okay, hire somebody. I really, really want this to almost feel like a family dynamic or a close friends dynamic. Family is a little bit of a touchy subject because we all know how family dynamics can go, but I want there to be a sense of camaraderie amongst the team. I want this team to be really, really special. So that means that I will be getting in there and understanding everything that I possibly can about every single team member and making sure that the process feels good for them too. So those are some of the steps that I've taken. Really identifying the need for a team, starting to research as to how to take action and implement and make this happen, and then creating a brainstorm list around what those team roles might be, what the descriptions are for each job, and the type of person that we're looking for each position, and then setting up a workflow for the application process. So I hope this is helpful for you. This is a little bit of a different episode compared to what I'm usually sharing here on the podcast. We are talking all things branding, design, social media marketing, visibility, and getting your business recognized in the online space. But I hope that this is helpful for you. And if it is, I would love for you to take a screenshot, tag me on Instagram, or share this episode with a friend, because I think that this is something that doesn't get talked about enough in entrepreneurship. I want you to know that you don't have to do everything alone. I want you to know that seeking out support is going to help your business grow, is going to help you grow as a person, and also create this reciprocal cycle of you giving back and receiving and giving back and receiving, creating opportunities so that new opportunities can come your way. So that is all I have for you today. This is a bit of a longer episode than I anticipated, but it's been a really interesting process getting to this point of needing and desiring to hire team and expand the brand. So stay tuned for more. I'll be sharing more about this over on Instagram. If you're not following me there yet, the handle is @calandra.martin. The link is in the show notes. And I will talk to you very soon on the next episode. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe wherever you are listening so you never miss a beat. For episode show notes, visit calandramartin.com/podcast. Your iTunes reviews and your sharing of the show helps us reach more magnetic bosses just like you. Until next time.